Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 12, Episode 11. Oh my gosh, we are literally so close to All Stars 5.
And then Drag Race Canada, and then Drag Race UK, and then Season 13.
Oh my god, I think I need 5 more bottles of this trywink.com/moviebitches wine. Go to trywink.com/movie.
You turned into Robert Goulet. Trywink.com/moviebitches.
Here you go, we're keeping that.
Don't imagine you're too familiar.
I think first things first is now over, and that's the only way that we can do trywink.com/moviebitches.
Real loungy, you know. Okay, great.
Good, I like that a lot. Second things second, shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much. $5 a month or more gets you early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties.
Yes, we've been having so much fun. There's been a lot of new stuff up there. Some behind the scenes things are coming out, and we're trying to figure out how to do live viewings and all sorts of stuff. So it's been a really fun time. So go check it out.
Third things third, make sure to subscribe. Click that little bell button down there. Share whole and tell all your friends. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, thumbs up, you know, all that good stuff. Parsley, arugula, peppers, all that.
Cabbages, all of it.
Parsley, peppers, cabbages, arugula, all of that.
I will say, speaking of share whole, I do kind of wish that someone had done a one-woman West Side Story.
Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's entertainment, I am proud to present West Side Story. I will be playing all the parts. Thank you. Never alone, you're never disconnected. We're gonna hand them a surprise tonight. We're gonna cut them down to size tonight.
Or if they wouldn't let you, like for legal reasons, do that, do a funny, like, one-woman quick changey kind of, and I'll be playing all the parts, you know.
Yeah, and I'll be playing all the parts.
That would work if you had time to prepare. I actually really liked this challenge as a challenge. It gave people like the same parameters, but allowed them to be creative in their own way. So it was like wide open. So I love that everyone did such different ideas with it. And I would bring this back. I really like this challenge. I have some problems that we'll talk about. But on a whole, like this challenge.
Yeah, I actually really liked this episode. There was like a glaring, I'm sorry, what? That more than anything, I feel like was really on the producers.
We'll get into it. I was yelling at my TV.
How long are these? What?
You awesome.
I mean, they have to kick her off at some point. I mean, get the hook.
I was like, but what are we even talking?
How long? What? 12? 13?
Okay, I mean, well, we'll get there. So, who went home? No one. No one went home.
Yes, no one's gone home, and some people have some feelings about it. I mean, I do too. Honestly, I was ready.
Get on with it. I mean, you know.
Get on with it.
Well, and now I'm mad because as much as I like Jackie, if, you know, they hadn't double saved her last week, Heidi would have been in the top 4.
Right, because then, you know, yeah.
So now I'm like mad.
What are you going to do?
The producers didn't have a epiphany. They don't know.
You said epiphany.
Is it not epiphany?
Epiphany.
Epiphany?
It starts with an E, not an H.
I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Oh, love her.
Love her. Gonna miss that bitch.
I know.
Like,
luckily it's just one episode, so it's like,
yes.
You know.
And she did great. And
yes.
I mean, the whole episode is going to be us talking about Heidi. But anyway, we have to move on. Oh, but I do love, so this week Heidi's talking about all her names. Heidi, call me Heidi who, Heidi ho, Heidi this. And then she said Howdy Doody, which really made me laugh.
You can call me Heidi ho, Heidi Doody.
Old school
Heidi
reference.
Doody.
And then it was like the puppet challenge. So it was like It's Howdy Doody time. Like, Howdy Doody?
Was Howdy Doody a puppet show?
Howdy Doody was a puppet.
Well, howdy doody, kids, and howdy, Buffalo Bob. Well, howdy there, Mr. Doody.
Oh.
Like, he was like a little puppety thing, and then there was other things that happened on the show.
Got you.
That weren't puppet related.
I don't think I knew that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I like obviously knew of Howdy Doody and like Howdy Doody, you know what you just saying. But I think that's kind of all I ever knew.
Well, there you go. He was like a little cowboy, and he was like creepy in that. Remember Holly Star?
Oh God.
It's like ish, that kind of puppet ish, where you're like, maybe you stay 6 feet away from me, puppet.
So Ru comes in. The mini challenge is puppets, like we just said. I don't remember what Ru was wearing.
It was like a red suit with those like fallen sleeves, cuffs again.
Do you want to talk about it or no?
Not really.
Okay, great.
I mean, I don't like the cuffs.
Sure.
I think they look bad.
Okay.
It seems like she forgot her cufflinks. But there you go.
The puppet challenge, because what?
Everybody loves puppets.
Yeah.
You gotta reach deep inside that hole.
Deep inside that hole.
Oh my God, deep in that hole hasn't been reached into for a long time or something, she said?
Something a little more eloquent than that.
Well, slightly. But then I was just like, but didn't they do this for Drag Race UK, which was like all of, 5 seconds ago? So...
I think you were taking her more literally than she anticipated.
Definitely was. But, just saying.
Just, it's another glaring example of how many seasons there's been back-to-back.
Exactly. I think more apt would have been like, just reach into my well-used hole and, you know, reach and grab a puppet.
Hole.
Yes, with glory holes.
Little Richard.
I said a bathhouse in a dark room with glory holes. There'll be a lot of singing going on up in there, honey.
Now if they brought her back to do that, to introduce the glory hole, or just to have her like, you know, they had a little pre-recorded segment, I would love that.
With glory holes.
I would love that. She stuck her head out from behind the wall. My glory hole.
My glory hole.
Woo! So good. So everyone has to pick randomly which, you know, other queen's puppet they're going to drag up and make fun of. I mean, Crystal's puppet just out of drag was everything, and I was like, she needs to sell merch of these puppets.
I mean, right?
I think they should sell them.
Yeah, I think that'd
merch.
be fabulous. Yeah,
Like,
little puppets.
I bet Alaska sells little pound cake things, right?
I'm sure. If
And
not, that's a
James-
hugely missed opportunity.
James has that fabulous, like, squeaky toy little James thing. That's fun, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to drag up the puppets. Crystal goes first, and she's got Jada. And it was, okay. I mean, on a whole, this was fine.
Yeah.
Everyone, not just Crystal. I'm saying across the board.
Oh, no, I fully agree. They were mostly just like, meh.
So maybe it's because they didn't get a library.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they could hold up to it. Maybe they did it and they're like, you know what? This is bad. Let's just cut it.
It couldn't be that bad.
Look over there!
I don't know if you felt this way. So Jackie gets cherry pie. Everyone was dying laughing in the room on the show.
Cackling. And I was like, I don't really know her.
I was like, I don't know her. They've cut all her footage. I have no concept of like anyone's relationship with her. So it was very like, okay.
I'm not old. I'm from New York. Sure, I'm from New York too. Really? I've never seen you before in my life. Sherry?
Sure.
But she won.
She had the most to say.
What did I tell you about chewing the scenery? Sure. What was your name again?
I feel like this is like a shady thing that you've just had subtly against Jackie. She had a lot to say.
It's her edit, but they just like let her talk for longer than everyone. So it seems like she's always talking. That's all. It's fine. She's got a lot to say. I like Jackie. Actually, the funniest part for me was not puppet related, but was someone's reaction. So Sherry gets Heidi and her wig falls off and there's powder everywhere. And
Does that puppet look soft and supple? The level of disrespect.
the level of disrespect.
Yes. The level of disrespect.
I wish there was a disqualify button.
I mean, there is. They just pushed it too late.
I guess there is. It's Willem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It should be
Our queen.
What?
And Gigi is like an utter flatline.
Where do you live right now, Jackie Cox? Well, I'm a current resident of New York City. And where are you from? I'm from Canada. You might know that from my political debate.
Oh, this was a sign of things to come.
Sign of things to come. It was awkward and uncomfortable, and it was like, boo. And then Heidi has Crystal.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a missed opportunity. She mentions her mullet and stuff like that, but I think she should have said, stop relying on that mullet.
I think what the judges are looking for from you is to start relying on what's in your head and not what's on your mullet.
Except RuPaul is obsessed with the mullet, so like, yikes. You know, you can't come for the mullet.
Oh, no.
I don't think we've seen Ru be so obsessed with something in a season.
Since Rebecca Glasscock.
Thank God Crystal has a lot more talent.
I mean, like I've said the whole season, I'm like, thank God I love Crystal, because
Yes.
if I didn't, I would be like, what's going on?
Yeah. I'd be like, what the actual fuck is happening? Ru, calm down. I mean, I still am like, Ru, calm down. But at least it's like, I'm still here for it.
Yes.
So Jackie wins, and as a result, she gets to pick the order for the Maxi challenge, which is it wasn't stand-up, I guess. It's stand-up because they're standing on stage, but it was like a one-woman show.
A one-woman show. That's what I liked about it. It wasn't do a stand-up routine, because that boxes everybody in to a certain thing. And this was just go wild. Do what you want.
Well, I mean, okay. It's time. I'm wearing this shirt for one reason and one reason only. I thought Whoopi was maybe one of the best judges we've had in so long.
Thank you. This is literally what the show is about.
Yes.
This is what we need. Like, this episode felt so thought out and cared for. We're going to have, aside from one glaring mistake,
yeah.
Yellow, red.
Thank you. I literally said that in the viewing party. I was like, what the actual fuck? Yellow, red.
I mean, get the hook. What has happened?
Producers.
But there was so much other, aside from that, oh, we're going to have them do one-woman shows. Let's get fucking an expert. Let's get Whoopi Goldberg, who's going to be a fabulous judge who gets it. Let's do the color purple runway. Like, the whole thing was themed like together, and we're going to get a Prince song. Like, the whole episode was thought out, and I loved that.
I loved it. And I mean, this is exactly what we've been asking for, where it's like, oh, you got someone who's an expert who gave amazing advice. That's what I love, too, is that at like the end of Untucked or whatever, the queens were all just like, having you has been so amazing, and like, you've given us so many words of wisdom and whatever else. And I'm just like, yeah, what we should have been doing this for each challenge so that the queens can learn from someone other than fucking Rob Fuckface and Michelle Visage.
It was Bob, but that's okay.
Well, Bob, Rob, I don't care.
What's going on? I mean, what?
Yes, queen, work.
Work.
Yes, queen, work.
It definitely was I'm so into voguing right now of
So
this season.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I just thought this was amazing. And I love that we're getting more A-list and more fabulous. They don't have to be the more famous, but just like more professional and amazing people to come on the show, because clearly their kids really like the show.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, I love that she brought her whole family.
That was so fucking weird and awkward, by the way. Just like, anyway, we're all watching behind the camera. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This would be weird if you were on set and you're like, oh, we're just trying to kiki. Like, as a cast member on Untucked, I feel like it was weird that there was so many people standing off camera.
For Untucked, I think that's weird.
Yeah.
Unless it was like, oh, we have 2 rooms, and in this one room is Whoopi and her family, where she's like, oh my God, well, I had to bring my whole family.
It seemed like they were on display, like, we're seeing drag queens in the wild. You know, it was just a little weird. But anyway, this episode, Jackie gets to pick the order. This was a whole lot of hullabaloo. I don't know why everyone thinks going last is bad.
I mean, I think we see why with this episode, but
there was extenuating circumstances.
Well, that's true too.
I think on a regular, you know, when everyone keeps to the time, I don't think last is necessarily I think going after the funny one is the worst place to be, is what I would say.
Absolutely.
She was last and after Sherry, so it was like, fuck.
That was the shade of it all, in all honesty. And no one said that.
I think Jackie knew what she was doing in that Jada had just come off 2 wins.
Sure.
Play the game. Don't hate the game. Or don't hate the player, hate the game. What is it?
Yes, that's the right one.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
They all decide, Sherry for some reason is like, well, I just don't want to go last. Everyone's like, I want to be in the middle. I want to be in the middle. I want to be in the middle. But Jada sort of doesn't agree to be in the bottom, but just says like, look, girl, I don't know.
Girl. I mean, I don't care at this point. If it's gonna be funny, bitch, it's gonna be funny.
All right, Jada signed up for it.
Well, all right now.
She doesn't say like, put me last, but she's like, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. Like, nobody's budging.
Well, it was interesting because they cut to it later. Because in my head, I was like, well, she did volunteer. But then when they play it back, she did not. Oh, Jackie is like, would you go last? And she was like, I mean, I guess whatever. I can't with this anymore.
It was
like, sure, someone has to.
It was very clear that she did not want to.
Right.
So, like, anyway.
So, quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more, including Whoopi, and a lot of things to say. My brain just went away.
And a lot of things to say.
Are we using that, or should I do another one?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, great.
So, we get to the rehearsals, and Whoopi is there, and she's fabulous and amazing.
Yeah.
Love her. Obviously.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt.
It was funny to me to see, like, everyone's first association.
Like, Star Trek, Color Purple.
Right.
But no
For me, it's Sister Act. Yeah. And also, weirdly enough, Little Rascals.
Winner by a hair! Yes!
Yes. And also Ghost.
Well, right. I've actually never seen Ghost.
Really?
Really?
I think it would be fascinating to watch without a nostalgia lens. Because, like, the special effects are certifiably terrible, but there's a lot of heart, and it's, like, weird, and it shouldn't work, but it totally does.
Okay.
So anyway, and she got that Oscar for it, so yeah, bitch. Yeah. I don't think as a kid I realized how groundbreaking and awesome Whoopi Goldberg was.
Right.
Like, we were spoiled.
Oh,
yeah. It was just like, yes, and next year, here's the next Whoopi Goldberg movie. And I didn't realize how unique that was and how just fucking amazing it was at the time.
Yes, and I mean, like, I thought in this, we really got to see that and, like, be reminded of that, where you're just like, so often I think of Whoopi as, like, a comedian. She has such versatility, such range, and you think about that, you're like, oh, she was in The Color Purple, and also, fucking Little Rascals. Like, very different. Love it.
Jackie's out first. She's going to do a brief history of Drag Race. It wasn't.
It was also bad.
I feel like Ru does not like meta-ness about herself at all.
No.
Unless maybe she's saying it about herself. But
or if it's like remember Ru, we were on uppers, downers, and candy corns or whatever. He
likes references, but not meta.
Yes.
And that's kind of what Jackie was doing, and Ru was like not having it.
This is actually a shark-filled moat. Whenever any of us wears any amount of green, and we get those eyes from Michelle Visage, and all of a sudden that shark fin starts bobbing up. Dun-dun.
I did love that she was like, "Oh, okay, we're not having this."
I see from your faces, this is not going well. She's talking about a moat with sharks, with freaking lasers attached to their heads.
You know, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
But no, not quite. But yes, I mean, this was like a lot of long walks, and so, Ru's not here to walk children in nature, so it's just not going to work. That was a long walk.
It was a little long, but I came with you on the journey.
You both call me losers, and I don't see you out there walking children in nature.
But yeah, Jackie realizes, like, oh no, this is not going to work. I need to be more personal and vulnerable. I mean, if Ru said one more time, just let us fall in love with you.
Let us fall in love with you.
Let us fall in love with you.
Give us an opportunity to fall in love with you.
Just let us fall in love with with you. Let us fall in love with you. Her catchphrase of the week.
It was. I was going to say it was this week's stand up out of the crowd or whatever the fuck.
You weren't born to blend in. You were born to stand out.
Stand out, yeah.
Maybe she's like writing her next album and all these like little phrases are in her head.
Ruru, this is a picnic.
Ruru, this is a picnic.
So anyway, Jackie quickly realizes this is a terrible idea. Whoopi gives her pep talk. She immediately starts crying.
Yes.
And all the walls fall down and she's like, okay, girl, I'm going to talk about my parents. It's going to be great. She's just like.
I thought this was a really good choice.
Oh, yes. I just love that Whoopi like said 4 things to her and she was like, oh my God, you saw my soul. Thank you. Here it is. Take it.
I think it was more and they cut it, but yes.
It's great.
So then next is Heidi Ho, Heidi Hole, Heidi
Hole.
What, where, when, why? Heidi Hole.
Heidi Hole is my vote.
Okay. So Heidi comes out, and I wish that they had been able to be more helpful for her. I feel like they let her down a little.
I do as well. She comes out, she's deciding she's going to do a one-woman show, literally. She was playing all the parts, but that's a hard thing to do. She's going to be all of her family members at a barbecue. And, I mean, my favorite part of this was Whoopi teaching her how to actually be drunk.
Yes.
Because you think the air is going to keep you from falling over. You're concentrating on saying, I'm not drunk.
I'm not drunk.
It's good.
Whatever happened, she didn't get the same breakthrough. And I was like, oh, shucks.
Well, right. And I think more than anything, what would have been really helpful was the tip to have a visual differentiator for each character.
Even if it's just a hat or something.
Glasses for the, or a cane or whatever. Just have some prop that you can toss on and off so that you can transform into that we know who you're supposed to be.
Yes. So the next is Crystal Method. And I mean, when she walked out there and was like, so I'm going to be a male exotic dancer. I was like, yes, bitch. Yes. Yes.
A male exotic dancer?
Oh. The ideas that she comes up with are just so different and funny and weird, and I just love her. It was similar to Ru's walkthrough with Gigi when she was like, I'm playing a robot, and Ru was like, I'm worried about this, and Gigi was like, I hear your concern. I'm not. I don't have the same concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crystal and Gigi really swapped confidences.
They really did.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because so she says, oh, I'm going to be a male exotic dancer, and I was like, hell yes. And she's like, I don't really know what dance moves I'm doing though. And Ru's like, well, how would El DeBarge dance? And you can just see the like vacant stare of like.
How do you think El DeBarge would move?
El DeBarge?
Who the fuck is El DeBarge? I still don't know. You have my phone. I can't Google it. I don't know what you're talking about. They need to give Crystal a dossier on El DeBarge.
Right. But this was really fun with all of the different, like, oh, the sprinkler. Yeah, oh, right, the...
And the jerk!
Yeah.
Do you know how to do the jerk?
Please do that. Please do that.
I love that Whoopi was like, please do that, please.
Please do this.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, so the next is Sherry Pie, and, she's like, I'm going to be a goldfish that's psychic.
Yeah, she's got... little gills. Fish it! High concept.
Uh-huh. They certainly gave her great advice.
They were like, don't do this, girl.
Maybe instead of being the goldfish, you have a goldfish that you ignore for 20 minutes. They didn't say that, but that's what happened. We will talk about it.
I did really enjoy that everyone did have concepts and like went broad places. Like I feel like everyone could have done what Jackie did. Like Jackie did a great job, but like everyone could have just been like, and here's my story about my crazy parents or my family or whatever. And I like that some people went more weird conceptual with it. I enjoyed that.
Yes, I agree.
The next is Gigi, and she has another concept. In theory, a great idea. She's a flight attendant to hell. If she had made a Lucifer joke.
Oh my God, I'm the devil detective.
Oh, I mean, only us would have laughed, but
Probably.
I would have enjoyed it. Maybe she needed to be basically. I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because I have thoughts about how she really could have improved it. But yes, she decides she's going to be the flight attendant to hell on Brimstone Airways. It's all very like clever, you know. Gigi's really having a hard time with this challenge with improv. I think because last time when they did improv, she had teammates and she didn't have to say anything. She's very good physically transforming her body if she has like a physicality to embody, but when she has to actually think on her feet and say stuff, it's hard for her.
That's true. Then last is Jada.
She spent most of her time being like, Whoopi, I love you. I mean, this was fabulous. I loved this.
This was really sweet.
You know, the color purple changed my life. I feel like she had the whole story about it, and you're amazing, and oh my God, and like, and then they hug it out. And I thought Whoopi was a really great coach. They maybe could have spent more time coaching her on her specific challenge at hand instead of coaching her in life.
Sure.
But it all worked out for Jada.
Okay.
This is what we asked for. We like the processes, the sort of like preparing of it. I'm writing this, I'm changing this, I'm evolving, I'm, you know, doing all these things. So this was all really fun and Whoopi was great. And then they all have to get ready in the mirror.
I don't know if my mom is going to love this impersonation of her. She doesn't know I do drag.
What are they going to do now without a finale to bring them out for?
Are they going to send their parents GoPros too? Oh my God. I am actually here for a disastrous drag queens trying to FaceTime their parents and like technology. No, you just have to hit the unmute, hit the, oh God, no, that's the wrong. And then it's just like them all close up and like, love it. So yeah, so we hear that about Jackie because she's going to do an impersonation of her mom and she's like kind of nervous about it. And I was excited because this was the first time Jackie's been vulnerable in a lot of ways, but not in, this is the most personal, I guess.
Yes.
She was opening up. I mean, it's a little late in the season, like if you're going to win.
Or was it?
Although this season is, you know, unprecedented, but it was nice to hear.
Yes, I agree. Oh boy, and then perhaps in the biggest disappointment since, you know, Gigi's Who's Patti LuPone?
Oh, or Dahlia's. I love Bob Fosse.
She. Girl, Fosse is the main character of Chicago.
The star of Chicago, the main character from Chicago. That was what was so. Oh, not even like I got the wrong person. I thought you were fictional. Anyway, yes, continue.
Jada doesn't know who Rose Nyland is.
The Rose Nyland of the season.
Am I Rose?
Who is Rose Nyland?
Jada Essence Hall.
And Jackie was like, Jada Essence Hall.
Is this bitch serious?
But I love that Jada was like, I don't know. I thought they were talking about some bitch from New York. What am I supposed to do about it?
I'm thinking that's some bitch from New York City they know. I don't know who that is. My bad.
Jada.
Look over there.
Well, it seemed like once they were like the Golden Girls, she was like, oh, of course, you know, yes.
Sure, yeah. It was funny because I was thinking the same thing where she was like, oh, well, back in our small town. And I was like, oh my God, she's like Rose. And then they said it. And I was like, oh, this is great. Back in St. Olaf. Oh, God.
Here we go again.
Yeah. Quick commercial break, and we will be back with the performance, or the one-woman shows, one-person shows.
Oh, Phil.
Oh, my God. We will talk about it after this commercial break.
So, Ru walks down the runway in this I mean, she was Ariel at the end of Little Mermaid. I mean, it was like leg, just the one, though.
I said she kind of was serving some Jessica Rabbit realness.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I couldn't figure out if the slit, it almost looked like she had a unitard on that was contributing to the slit. And I couldn't tell if it was just sort of tucked in there in a weird way or if it was, but she looked gorgeous.
Yes, she did.
But there's something about it. I was like, is there like a snap in there? What's going on?
She's just drawn that way, Avaryl.
She's just drawn that way. She can't help it. And then they don't introduce the judges. They weren't like, and the hilarious Ralph Matthews. They were just like, anyway, and here's the show.
Oh. Well, I guess because it was like the live show. Let's just go straight into it. I don't know.
I guess because Sherry Pie decided she was going to take up time for everyone, that they had to cut it. I was in a state of shock.
We're not there yet, because first is Jackie Cox. And I thought she did great. She told a great story. She did a good job of like balancing impersonating her parents.
It was very smart. She's got 2 stools and glasses that represent each of her parents, and she can put on. And it was like, oh, this is a great, easy way to visualize and be like, I got it.
Yep.
I got it.
Well, I got it.
Well, I got it.
It was the most heartfelt. It was the most personal. It was the most like informed one-woman show. Like you could see this actually being a thing that she could actually turn into a real one-woman show kind of thing. It was less haha funny and more just like, oh, I like you. I get to know you. You know.
I laughed. I laughed a good chunk through it, I think. I was never like rolling on the floor laughing, but I giggled throughout. And I don't think I could say, oh, there was that joke. Remember how hilarious?
It was humorous.
But I remembered laughing.
It was humorous. It just wasn't like, ha! But that wasn't, what I liked about it was that wasn't necessarily the assignment. It was do a one-woman show. Don't do a comedy routine. I mean, you can, but that wasn't necessarily a part of the assignment. Entertain people for 5 minutes.
It's almost like the talent show for All-Stars, but like not as broad.
Yes, entertain people for 5 minutes, whatever that means to you, go. Also, 5 minutes is too long. Even 5.
If you think 5 minutes is too long, have I got...
Oh my, but we forgot that there was someone else in the audience as well.
Oh my God. She's a fierce Brock ally.
A fierce one. I'm so steamed right now. Oh!
I just wish that they would not address it and just have it be like a fun thing that you discover.
Well, I mean, the first shot is of the back of her, and I was like, ah! And then Michelle and Rue were like, look over there, it's Dahlia. Look over there. It was so weird. The way that, maybe it's because she's green and there was a problem. It looked like they added her in post until they then interacted with her. And I was like, oh, clearly they didn't. But like the lighting was very bizarre.
It was bizarre. That's true. Because I remember thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, well, it's green screened in. I guess that's why it looks kind of weird. And then I was like, but wait, why would they acknowledge it then if they green screened?
She like,
so yeah,
almost looked like a Force ghost.
A little bit.
Like, Luke, I'm your fierce Brock ally. You know, it was a little weird. Over here, hello.
So then next up is Phil. Phenomenal Phil.
Yeah.
I loved this. Thought it was hilarious.
This look was insane and I loved it. I love that she brought this. I mean, obviously she brought this, but like for why?
Yeah.
Loved it. Crystal's really taken the road that Milk graded and is now paving it.
Yeah, Milk walked so that Crystal could run.
Oh, I did love that though, when Whoopi was like,
fuck them, they all want you to walk, fly. Yeah.
I will say, it was funny. So there was a clip that I saw on Ms. Cracker's YouTube of them talking about how fucked it is that they gave poor Rock'em Sakura so much shit for talking about a fart. How dare you squat and talk about a fart in this show? Crass humor. And then here she is popping the dump, and they are just fucking living their lives.
And then we're gonna dump it, okay?
They didn't have the farting noise, so it was less offensive. Oh, I was so scandalized.
Oh, I'm scandalized.
This was so funny and fabulous. I do wish, though, I was disappointed. I really wish those jeans had been a tearaway and then she was in a banana hammock.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
She didn't really strip. I still thought this was amazing, but I was like, and she's going to tear away those pants. And it's going to be like a neon green fucking, or what are those like ones that come over your shoulder, like Borat?
Like the Borat one?
But anyway, this was really funny. She's doing the kitty litter, doing this. It was like some, 90s VHS tape of like, And here's how you do, you know, stripper aerobics or whatever.
It reminded me of the one with Susan Powder.
Yes. It was so fun. And she looked funny and she kept the crowd going and it was weird and different and it was great.
Yeah.
Next up is Heidi Hole. And this, to me, needed to be more specific. It was like vague characters, vague ideas, and to me, the funniest stuff is when it's like real and specific. And if you don't personally relate to it, at least you can make it funny if it's more personally specific to you kind of thing.
It seemed to me a little bit like she didn't figure out a way to elevate things that are funny, like as an inside joke almost with her family of like, you know, like when you have those things where you're like, oh my God, grandma, she's always complaining about the potato salad. And that's funny as a family, but you have to find a way to really elevate it to be something that's more unique. Because everyone has that in their family. And unless you're making the joke that everyone has that in their family, then it kind of is unoriginal.
Well, and for me at a certain point, because she starts and she's Heidi. And it really needed a narrator throughout, an outside voice, because it devolved into, I'm this character, and I'm talking to this character, and I'm talking to that character, and I'm talking to this character. And she needed like the narrator of Heidi to be like, pause, oh my God, time out, Zach Morris. So I had to break up the fight because the paprika was getting out of control. Whatever it is, you know, that kind of thing.
I think the other hard part was that she decided to do a scene.
You know, it's like potato salad here. You know, it's so good. No, Sharon, no.
With multiple people. And it's hard to have them all interact with each other. Then she just kind of seems schizophrenic, you know, where you're just like, what's happening? Why is she moving around and talking slightly different, but never different enough? She didn't have the physicality of it. I thought it was tough, too, that she went after Jackie, who did such a better job of delineating, and now I'm going to be this person, and now I'm going to be this person.
And yeah, her voice didn't change all that much. It was hard to keep track of. There was a lot of talk about potato salad, and at a certain point, I was like, I'm not really sure what we're talking about anymore. It's got paprika.
It's got paprika.
It's got paprika in it.
This was not like a total like, but it was like, it's not quite there. We need to workshop it some more.
Yes. So then next is Gigi Good on her highway to hell, her plane ride to hell.
Highway to Hell is a different show. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Now I hope that we put the song under it for just 2 seconds. Just lip sync it.
Just the 2 seconds. We don't get flagged.
So, I mean, it did seem kind of like she had her notes in her little cart. I was like, is she going back to look and see what her notes were?
I think
it was like Mulan. Always think before you act.
This to me was a good concept, easy to play around with it. She needed a better character. How did she get assigned to be the flight attendant to hell? Is she really bitter? Because at least you guys get to fucking get off this plane and go to hell. I'm stuck traveling back and forth constantly. That would have been more fun. I thought it was a good idea that she interacted with the audience because at least it gave her something to do, but the pacing was real, drawn out, and it didn't ever go anywhere, but I saw like the glimmer of what it could have been.
Yes. Well, I think for me, the most successful parts were when she was interacting with the audience and reading them to filth. It was kind of fun. And it's like, ooh, I want to get read by her. Read me, And then she kind of lost that. And then she lost all of her energy and momentum. And I feel like if she had developed the character more to be like, ooh, she's this devilish bitch who's just going to read you to filth and tell everyone why they suck. That's kind of fun. You can make something out of that at least.
Is there something to be said like a flight that never ends is hell? And you're actually not ever getting off this flight. That kind of thing.
Sure. I am in the bad place.
It was like simultaneously funny to me and also not funny that like their sins were not that sinful. Like you've got a bad credit score.
It could have been fun if it was like fashion hell maybe then or something.
That would have been much better.
And that's a good angle for her because she's a fashion style queen or whatever, So it's like, ooh, that would have been good, right? Oh, she's going to send everyone to fashion hell.
Yeah, actually, that would have been perfect because she would have nailed that. Good job, you fixed it.
It was funny when she, she's like, oh, and if everyone, raise your tray tables or whatever, and we're soon about to land in Detroit. I was waiting for her to be, it was funny, I liked it, but I was also waiting for her to be like, if you could just kindly go fuck yourselves. Like something, just...
Great. We're about to land In Scottsdale.
I mean, ugh. Talk about hell.
If we're gonna send him somewhere, it should be the most horrible, most miserable place on Earth.
Scottsdale.
She needed a little bit more bad Janet in there.
Yes, she needed a character. Like, it didn't transcend past, it was still kind of Gigi.
Yes.
And she needed
and still
to really,
kind of robot lady.
And still kind of robot lady. So she needed to take it to the next level. But I saw the potential in it. My notes get progressively more angry as I write them. Oh, good Lord. Next up, Sherry Pie as Madame Nicolette and the Goldfish. There was some name she had.
My name is Sherry Pie. Sherry with an S, not Cherry with a C, because Sherry with an S goes schnutch.
Oh, no, is she just Sherry Pie? Because she comes out, I thought you were going to be mad about this. She makes Eliza with a Z joke. It's Sherry with an S.
Not
with an
Sherry
S,
with
not
a Z.
C.
And I was like...
The S goes and a C goes... I was like, oh, Andrew's going to be mad.
I definitely rolled my eyes.
But yeah, so she comes out, the makeup is the same, and it's a nightmare.
A nightmare.
It was weird. Okay, so it starts, and then they're like, oh, she hasn't introduced her goldfish yet. And then at the bottom, it's like 2 minutes.
Like 3 minutes in.
Well, it says like 2 minutes into the performance, and I was like, this is at the moment where I went, wait, how long were these supposed to be? Because I didn't even realize this was supposed to be 5 minutes at this point.
Right.
And then it's like 6 minutes into the performance, 8 minutes into the performance, and I was like, wait, was everyone else's this long? Like, at first I thought I was going insane. I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
Why?
And then it just keeps going, and 11 minutes in, and 13 minutes in, and 12 minutes in, and I was like, good Lord, this is like, get the hook. That's what it's for. What has happened?
Flames on the side of my face. I was so angry at the producers. The level of unprofessionalism, far too much. The fact that they let her go over 5 minutes when they said, you all have 5 minutes. Girl, sorry, you didn't even talk about your goddamn goldfish. Your 5 minutes is up. Get off the fucking stage. You're done.
Well, and it wasn't like, oh, she went for 6 minutes.
Right.
That's like, okay, not great, but whatever. 17 minutes? Oh my God, when timing and energy in the room is like so important to a performance. Yep. And Jada's sitting back there just getting more and more in her head and getting more mad and what am I doing? And I'm waiting around. I mean, I honestly wish that Jada had said, get the hook! Like, I wanted people to start heckling her. I was like, good Lord, this isn't like, oh, I ran a little long. This is, and I did the amount of everyone else's performances combined. I was baffled. This was insane.
Insane to me. And what was really honestly just more insane than anything, I mean, you know, sure, fuck her and like, fuck you for going that far over. Oh, I didn't realize. I mean, come on, please. More than anything, it just frustrated me that the producers were like, isn't this crazy? And I'm like, no, this is unacceptable. You should have cut her off. We saw what she did in the first 5 minutes. Oh, she didn't get anything done? Guess she's in the bottom then.
I mean, what if she had gone first? Would have fucked everyone over.
I just don't see any excuse or reason that they shouldn't have stopped her there and then at like 6 minutes, right? Oh, you went a minute over. It's time to stop.
Yeah. Yellow, red.
Yellow, bam, red.
Flash a flashlight in her face.
Where's fucking the Brock ally with a sign that says 5 minutes is up, bitch? Get off the goddamn stage.
Get a cue card out there and be like, bitch, you've been on for too long. I don't know. I thought this was nuts.
Nuts.
And they didn't really show any of it other than, oh my God, this is crazy how long she's been talking. So like as a person watching at home, you're like, this seems annoying and bad. Yeah. Like I'm annoyed. If I was in the audience, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, she's still talking. Oh my God. But yes, she essentially zapped all the energy out of the room. I mean, you know, maybe she's an energy vampire.
I was just gonna say it.
Energy vampires drain people's energy merely by talking. We either bore you with a long conversation.
Feeling better now. I was a little sick this weekend.
Love that. Wait, actually, that tracks. That actually fully tracks, though. Like, wait, I think we just cracked it.
We enrage you. In fact, you probably know an energy vampire.
We cracked the code. We did it.
Oh my God. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, poor Jada was last, and she went in with, you know, against a strong headwind or whatever you want to, I don't know
Current?
the correct term.
She got caught up in the cherry pie riptide.
Yeah, that's okay. Sure.
Child, ooh. So I look over for a familiar face. Hey, Ru. Except Ru happens to be my boyfriend. He comes on over.
And this story, you know, I don't think she was necessarily working with the strongest to begin with.
Well, I, in all honesty, could not follow this at all.
But then he looks over and says, these other judges to the left, they have hot dogs with onions on them.
P is for pageant. I'm judging a pageant, but then I went backstage and then there was hot dogs and I was going down on, or someone was going down on me or I was going down on them. I'm not sure. There was piss involved. I like genuinely, like my mom was like, what is she talking about? And I was like, I don't know. I cannot follow the threads that she has given us. What is going on?
I think, unfortunately, it's a joke that I'm sure plays better within the drag community where you know all of the stuff. You know, it's like, oh, I was dressed up for this drag pageant, but then I had to pee. And so then my boyfriend or assistant or whoever it was helping me pee because they had to like take all of the padding and the tucking and the whatever off. She couldn't hold it any longer. So then she just started peeing all over her boyfriend, partner, assistant.
I missed that entirely.
That was the story, I'm pretty sure. But it was very hard to follow. And I think part of the problem was that there were assumptions that when she was like, oh, well, I needed to go pee. I was like, well, why didn't you just go to the bathroom? Oh, because you were in drag. Oh, because you had all these things and you needed someone to take you out of drag. That's why he was down on his knees.
Yeah.
You know, that was unclear. But I did think that she did a fun, decent job of, like, responding to the crowd.
Oh, y'all not feeling it. That's all right. That's all right. We're going on a journey.
Like, she kind of made it work, at least. It wasn't good, but I was like, you can tell, you know, of these queens where you're like, oh, you'd be good on stage with an audience.
Yes. It was weird. So during Jada's, they had to obviously like add in a pissing sound effect because like she wasn't peeing and she wasn't like dropping water. You know, it wasn't like, oh, and then I had a water bottle or something. And so it's like, how much production were they allowed to? Could Gigi have requested, you know, like brimstone music to be playing behind her? It's a one-woman show. You could do what you want, right? It's not stand-up. So that would have been kind of interesting if they were allowed to maybe expand upon that a little bit. But I was like, oh, someone in the back had to be like, piss noise.
Or you think it was live? You think it wasn't added in post for the show? They were trying to help her out and make it funnier?
That's weird if they did that, but maybe. I would have liked more live, work with a stage manager and figure out, like, these are skills you need to have as a drag queen. You get to pick your own lighting or whatever. Like, I think there's stuff that they could be doing that I would find really interesting.
I agree. And I think that would also really give the queens an opportunity to show their talent at producing a show that would be seen. After the show, they go on and do a show or they go do the tour and they have a number that they do. And it's like, well, I want to see their ideas at least for something that they could do.
I would find that more interesting than here's the sad story about my sad childhood. And it's more useful and it's more important if you're going to be the winner. That's a more important skill. And
then you can have people that are experts in those fields come out and show them, help them through it. Like, great. You could go so many different ways. You could even do famous set designers or, you know, costume designers or all sorts of different things of like, well, let's figure out a way to make this elevated. Love it.
Get Bob Mackie. Yeah, they need to School of Rocket.
A little bit.
Where it's like, and I'm the nerdy kid who can't play an instrument, but I got this lighting design. Great. Love it.
Well, and then that makes the group challenges kind of more fun too, where it's like, ooh, you know, oh, you have these skills. I want her for my team because of this complimentary thing or, you know, whatever. It's like, oh, she knows how to work the lighting board, or not that that's an actual skill that they need, but you know what I mean. She's great at designing light schemes and we're going to want that.
Something. I think there's broader skills that are maybe more technical and maybe in the producer's eyes are quote unquote more boring, but to me would be fascinating. Again, I think they need to update it to drag now.
Yes.
So like social media skills, that kind of stuff. Where season 1, that was not happening.
Didn't matter. So quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the runway. Category is the color purple.
I just thought of what I would have done.
Oh.
Wouldn't it have been kind of amazing? Crystal totally would do this. To come out and be Harold and the Purple Crayon. You don't know that book? It's like a little baby in a like a white onesie, and he has a giant purple crayon, and he like draws, and then the things come to life.
Oh, cute. No, never heard of it.
It's really cute, but you could walk down in a big old like baby onesie with like a huge oversized purple crayon or whatever, and then I feel like if you found a way to, you know, draw on yourself and do a quick change, then you could be like, and I'm fabulous. There's something there, and I like it.
Yeah, that's cute. That's a cute idea.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The runway, the color purple. I was excited. I mean, I often, when they do color-themed runways, it often blends together a little bit, and I'm like, eh. But this episode, I mean, all the queens are so different. There was actually a wide variety, and I enjoyed it a lot.
But I think the nice thing is that, like, unlike Black Wedding, where they were all just black wedding dresses, this was just the color purple. There's a wide, you know, variety of things you can do with that. And so, actually, I thought Jackie's first up was, you know, a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater was a cute idea.
It was a cute idea. I didn't care for this, but it was different and cute.
I thought it was whimsical.
Yeah.
It was a cute interpretation. It wasn't the best executed. There were, you know, the details all weren't quite perfect.
It's tough when you got like Crystal next to you, who, if Crystal did this, you'd be like, yes, bitch. Like not in the same, like she would do something more fabulous with it, not the same outfit. But if she had come up with, I'm going to be a one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater, oh my God.
Right.
Isn't there like a polka dot bikini?
I think that's an itsy teensy weetsy pea yellow polka dot bikini.
But thank you for reading my mind. Yeah, this was different and cute and weird, but ultimately it just looked a bit crafty, and it's such a fine line.
A good case in point would be like Crystal's Freddy Krueger runway.
Oh.
Right, where it's like, yes, that was absolutely crafty, but like that was the point. It was stylish. It was fashionable because it was a twist.
It's a fine line.
It is. Whereas like sometimes when you look at like Aiden Zane's looks, you're like, ooh, almost there, but it fell on the crafty side.
It's right. Yeah, it's like, oh, I forgot about that Freddy Krueger look. I don't know. Maybe give Crystal the crown. It's Crystal or Jada for me. Like that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with either.
Absolutely.
So yes, this was different, but I didn't love it. And her Eddie Munster hairline was aggressive. Oh my God. So the next out, Crystal Method in this Nick Cave sound suit, purple yak.
Yeah.
Rag, what are those like rag rugs, you know, where all the, like, oh, this was fabulous. And this so easily could have been like, what are you doing, girl? What's this? What's happening? Like the shape could have been weird. The fact that she was wearing fuck off high heels really helped.
Helped so much. And they were small too. They weren't platforms or anything. They were like tiny little fucking
it really fucking tall.
Yeah, it made the legs really work, and it was like, ooh, she's stumping that runway. Yeah, she's a fashion Yeti purple girl, whatever.
Like they weren't like hooves. Like it wasn't like Mayhem's.
No.
I almost said Krampus, but they were like Hoove-like in that everything was so soft, and then it was this hardness or whatever. The little ears. Oh, this was so cute.
Yeah. Oh my God. Next up, Heidi, looking the most gorgeous we've seen her.
Oh my God, she was flawless.
Stunning.
The body, the dress looked really good. The face, the hair. Oh.
I don't know why y'all gagging. I give it to you every time. Well, not every time.
I don't think I have anything else to say except for, it was I loved it. I thought she looked so beautiful, and I was like, you know what? At least good for her. She went on a high note, and I still think she won this season.
Oh yeah, I mean,
the highlight of season 12, 11, 12, 12.
The Heidi light.
Heidi highlight. Highlighter.
Highlighter.
That word belongs to Pheromone.
She definitely won the season.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm gonna worry about Honey.
What is that about? What is all of this about?
Oh, so good. Yeah, I'm so glad she went out looking fabulous. I think she should have gotten potentially more credit. Maybe could have been out of the bottom because this is the best she's looked and she's clearly improving.
Yes.
And growing and changing. And other people haven't been. That's all I'll say. So then next up is Gigi, and she's Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
It was cute.
It was cute.
I think I'm resentful that Gigi's like hasn't been in the bottom ever.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yes.
It's not necessarily personal. I'm like, but why?
There's just something for me where like the surprise or like the originality is gone. And so I'm like, oh, that's cute. It's a Daphne. It's a movie reference. You've done that. You know? Like,
I mean, I can't necessarily get mad at a movie reference, but sure.
I get it. But like, this is the third movie reference we've had in 12 episodes.
I know that we keep saying, and everyone keeps saying she's the fashion queen and, oh, she's the fashion one. But it's not exactly fashion. It's leaning towards costume.
I was a little confused by the pirate outfit. I was like, oh, is this like the costume campy queen?
And like personalized costumes, like customized, but still costume.
Costume?
Someone had a good distinction. They were like, she's not fashion, she's more style.
Yeah. She knows.
And I do.
You know, she knows how to use that blue fly accessory wall. There was a little more Cher than Tim Gunn.
It was a little
accessory wall.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, we're gonna use that blue fly accessory wall. I don't know what that was. That was like, oh, why don't you come up and use that blue fly accessory wall sometime? Oh.
May well.
Yeah. Blue fly accessory. Yeah, okay. Let's say blue fly accessory one more time. And then
I love that it's the blue fly, which was like the shittiest of all their sponsors. Anyway, yes, I think Gigi is very talented, but she's not surprising me anymore.
No, because I think everything's been prepared.
It's very prepared. It's overly prepared. She to me is like their complaints about Jan they should be complaining about Gigi. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The next was Sherry Pie. And I mean, in all honesty, I think at this point I was so angry that I was just like, fuck this, fuck her, get the hook, you know? But she has like this whole story about how she's the Cheshire Cat and this Alice in Wonderland fantasy, and I saw that. I didn't particularly care for it, I don't think, but
it was giving me more like 1920s, you know, I'm at like a weird salon party and the theme was cat, but glamorous. You know, it was kind of something was going on with that. And I was like, okay, bitch. With this, like little cap on and the cigarette. And I was like, okay. Maybe if she'd had like, I don't know, because the Cheshire Cat, the whole thing is like the mouth, right? So if she'd painted like a huge fucking mouth and it was like real surreal and weird looking. And she was like, I don't know, you know.
I like
might
that.
have been cool.
Yeah.
Sure, the Cheshire Cat, purple cat, sure. But for me, it was way more like 1920s costume party. I'm in Gatsby, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So last on the runway is Jada in this. Oh my God, she looks so fabulous.
So fabulous.
Like liquid, sequined, dripping purple fabric with this like Philip Tracy fascinator.
But also I loved that then when you like look, it's like the elevation of the Star Trek character.
This was fucking fabulous. It fit her amazingly with this like open slit and this high, the fabric was just so fascinating to look at. And then in Untucked, you see it was all these little intricate sequinedy, like spirally, wiggly things. And I was like, oh my God.
It is great.
Thigh high matching boots. Ugh.
So Crystal wins. Yay! And I think that was the right choice.
Jackie was close, but her look wasn't as good. She hasn't been on as much of a trajectory.
Yeah, she's still kind of just somehow in the middle, even at the end here. I'm not going to lie, I still was kind of bummed that Crystal didn't win last week. You know, it almost felt like they were just like, oh, well, you probably could have won last week, so here, we'll give it to you this time. I mean, she definitely was the best, but still, it felt like, oh, but she should have won it for last week's.
I hear you. Whoa.
These outfits.
Look
The hair.
at that. I'm obsessed with it.
So Jada, Heidi, and Sherry are in the bottom 3.
She disqualified herself. That was some bullshit. I mean, it's also the producer's fault for not stopping her, but also that's some bullshit. I mean, that's part of the challenge. The challenge is 5 minutes.
That's what I just don't understand. The challenge was you all have 5 minutes to do this thing. So what the fuck? Like, then you have to judge her on the 5 minutes. And they should have stopped her. And then Jada's would have been better. Like, what are we talking about? It's crazy nonsense.
But sadly, Sherry is safe. I mean, they're kicking themselves now.
Yep.
And Heidi and Jada are in the bottom. And I mean, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
I was bummed out. They have to lip sync to Prince's 1999. And it was pretty, I mean, these two just like deliciously queenly, goddesses in this purple dancing to Prince and singing. I was like,
yeah.
So that was pretty fabulous. I do wish that Jada's underwear had been purple to match because it was black and it was like, oh.
Yes.
Oh, but if it had been that same fabric, oh, bitch.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, bitch.
But yeah, Jada pretty much won the second she took off that wig and had that oh my God.
Yes.
And what? It was very just like, oh, bitch, what? And now I'm Prince. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Or now I'm Mary J. Blige or something. Like, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, a little bit. It was a great wig.
But Heidi also, I thought, did a really great job. And this was fun, and they were both fabulous. But, like, is it her 4th time in the bottom? Yeah, it's kind of the kiss of death.
Yeah. I mean, she's a lip sync assassin, but, like, I think at that point you just can't, not even Coco Montrese can do it.
But at least she looked fucking fabulous.
Fucking fabulous.
Jada wins, kind of, I mean, it made sense.
Yes.
She's on the way to win.
Now, if we were to talk about a week where I would keep both of them.
That's why I was mad about last week. But
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Heidi's going to be fine. She's great. I'm going to miss that bitch. She's great. She's already won it all. Oh my God, did I tell you? So when we were on Insta Live, she was talking about how she wasn't going to audition, but some other queen, like on her social media, which I guess you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to say you're auditioning or something, just in case. Was like, oh my God, I just submitted my tape, like blah, 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 whatever. And Heidi was like, oh yeah, I should do that. And then she got on, and the other bitch has like auditioned numerous times. And
well,
Heidi had never auditioned before.
Oh my God, I love it.
She was like, look at me now. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Love it.
Yes. So, this week on Untucked, I mean, really, all I remember, there was stupid nonsense drama of like, oh, you said I wanted to go last, and you said I wanted to go first, whatever the fuck. And then Whoopi came in.
Yes. They were trying to force I would never say that, but the receipts weren't there.
We need to roll back those tapes because she clearly said that she would go last.
I wouldn't mind going like second or third.
I mean, I loved it. I was like, well, play the tape. And then she's like, we'll play the tape. And then they played the tape and it was like, oh, Jackie, you're wrong, girl. She did not want to do that. And you were like, well, will you do it? And she's like, fine, I don't fucking care anymore. Whatever. Yeah. That's very different than like volunteering.
But I did love that Jackie's lapel mic was clearly like all fucked by the boa weird thing that was.
She sounded all.
But then you also say, I could go, last.
It was all like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. It like sounded like insane the whole time. And I was like, yeah, I like this.
It made me laugh. And then I was like, oh God, are we going to have to sit through this whole argument listening to Jackie's horrible sound?
Yeah. I mean, we're ones to talk, but we're working on it.
We're working on it. We do not have professional sound designers on set, so.
That is correct. Oh yeah, and Sherry apologizes.
Right, for taking up so much time, and I'm like.
I mean, I did like that Jada took the high ground and was like, look, it happened. What am I going to do about it? That's, the mature way to handle it. If someone else, if it had happened to someone else, they may have been like, fuck you, bitch.
Sure.
Maybe that would have been fun. I don't know. But I did like that she was mature about it.
Yes, I agree.
So they're all like, oh my God, Crystal, you're the best. Crystal, you're definitely going to win. Crystal, you're amazing. And they kept cutting to Gigi just being like, numerous times.
And then Whoopi comes in and gives them more fabulous advice and was just fabulous all around. And I love her.
I mean, it was great. She was just like, here is my wisdom, babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had to say goodbye to Heidi. I'm sad, but love her.
Cheers to this week. Cheers to Crystal. Cheers to Whoopi fucking Goldberg.
Yes.
Oh my
Cheers
God.
to
Miss
Heidi.
Goldberg. It's just Whoopi. It's just
It's
Whoopi.
just Whoopi. When you have a name like Whoopi, you can't be called Miss anything.
And yes, cheers to Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. I like Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. Just,
Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. I don't mind Heidi in closets. It makes me laugh.
I agree. I mean, you know, oh, right, we didn't talk about it. So, like, you know, Rue sends her off and she's like, you are a star and just no more fucking Heidi in closets or no closets for you or whatever. And I was like, who are you to really decide this person's name, Rue? Go fuck yourself.
I did like that Rue was like, you are a star. Look
Yes.
into my eyes. You are. I'm so sad to see you go.
You're a star. I'm so excited for the world to see you. They're gonna love you.
You are a star. And I was like, yeah, bitch.
I think it was one of the most flattering send-offs that Rue has ever given.
That also seemed real.
Exactly.
Not like, you're amazing. Go shine, star. It wasn't like nonsensy.
No, it was like a very personal, like, you're great. Cheers to Heidi.